Mr. Chair, we have to, Roger, can you join us, please? So, as you have heard from Dimitra, Professor Mariolopoulos was one of the founders of climatology in Greece. He has been working with Sir Napier Shaw in Cambridge early in the 20th century. And he got his PhD there in 1925, amazing. Then he became director of the National Observatory, and he has followed the path of Eugenides, who was the man who modernized the observatory, and he created the Academy of Athens, the new Academy of Arts and Sciences in Greece. When he passed away, he left his fortune to a foundation in which we are both members of the Board of Trustees, me and Professor Academician and other 7 distinguished colleagues. And we have made arrangements about 30 years ago with WMO. It was actually at that time Professor Obasi, the Secretary General of WMO. And we have decided in 1996 to offer for young people, because Professor Mariolopoulos, as we all recall here in Greece, he loved students and the young generation. So the award is designed to be given after a world competition to a young one or more scientists that are under 35 age, and that they have published in the past 3 years an exclusive and highly recognized paper. In last year's competition, there were 12 papers which have been reviewed by WMO, the European Union Research Program, the Environment Program, and there were 2 successful with equal rating. It was Julia Mindlin, from Argentina, and Sahil Sharma, who is from North Korea. Both papers have a high merit, and it is by coincidence that both papers refer to research in the southern hemisphere. So that's another important issue, and I'm talking here to 2 southerners, and you would appreciate it. I'm sure that just by lack of chance, in ancient Greek it's tichi agathi. Nice chance, you know. It happened in that. So Julia Mindlin and colleagues published a paper titled Plausible Drying and Wetting Scenarios for Summer in Southeastern South America in the Journal of Climate. The journal, as we all know, the American Meteorological Society. The paper studied the summer rainfall trends in Southeastern South America in recent decades and recognized their importance for climate impacts. More than one driving mechanism have been identified for the trends, some of which have opposing effects. I really enjoyed reviewing your paper also. It is still not clear how much each mechanism has contributed. You can tell us a little bit of that. And the second paper, they share, they divide the prize. Sahil, Sharma and colleagues published a paper entitled Future Indian Ocean Warming Patterns in Nature Communications 2022. Unfortunately, Sahil could not join us, and we will have the pleasure to hear our dear Julia, and I ask our chairman, please come closer so we can get a picture. Roger, you present the award to Julia. If that is okay?
My pleasure to present this, Julia. It's a wonderful work. I think I read your paper.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. She plans to move to Boulder, as I heard. So, Julia, the floor is yours. You can tell us a few things about your research work, and I will close with a little bit of history about this place here.
Great, thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. I'm super honored. And yes, I want to highlight and thank my two PhD supervisors, Carolina Vera and Ted Shepard, and also Celeste Saulo, former director of the National Weather Service in Argentina, who presented my paper for this award. So to say a few things about the paper, we studied future projections for Southern Hemisphere, and in particular for South America, and what we found is that there's still huge uncertainties at the regional scale for which are going to be the precipitation changes, and in particular, this is driven by the uncertainty in large-scale circulation. So we found that there are still multiple plausible changes, in particular in the tropical Pacific, the stratosphere, that could drive either wetting or drying trends in the same region. And so we try to communicate that when we look at model projections and we look at the multimodal and summer mean, we can have a biased idea of what the projections could be, and that we have to consider this uncertainty. So we use this storyline approach trying to explain this, what are the drivers of this different contrasting trends. And I also want to highlight, I'm also super happy that these two awards went to the South Hemisphere. I've been now working in the Northern Hemisphere in Germany, and will move to the US. But I think that it's super important that we focus on the Southern Hemisphere as much as we do in the Northern Hemisphere, as this is, well, in particular, global climate change is a global issue. So thank you for this recognition and for the recognition to University of Buenos Aires.
Okay, we all congratulate you, but I would like to add that it was a very hard job to pick up the two scientists for these prizes. Among excellent people who decided to submit their own papers. Papers which actually contribute a lot to the science. And of course we have the two top scientists selected by the committee, and we all voted for this. And something, because Christos has covered it all, Christos has a lot of experience, probably more than mine, because he's not only an academician,
I'm older.
a bit. And but he was a professor with many years of experience in two different universities, the University of Thessaloniki and the University of Athens, the National Academician University of Athens. And I will only add that Professor Mariolopoulos was also professor at the University of Athens, and he created the oldest laboratory, the laboratory of meteorology, in this university. And here we have the result of the work. Very many good people, scientists, which actually are still around us, contributing. My warmest congratulations, and I wish you the best. Thank you.
So, just to say a few words, indeed, South is the future, you know that, because it has not yet been severely touched like the northern hemisphere. The reason, of course, is the ocean and its thermal capacity that can hold, I don't know for how many years more, but it can store, and then the ocean will wake up, all oceans, and will say, come on, you know, that's enough. So until that, papers like those that we are awarding today are important, and particularly exchange between the north and southern hemisphere. Because the circulation, actually, the Brewer-Dobson circulation has been already disturbed. You know that. The ozone hole has not closed yet because although the Montreal Protocol operates, the ozone hole in the past 4 years, it's still open. I mean, it's still there with low values. And obviously, these are the result of man-made climate change, on one hand. On the other hand, I would like to actually point out, Alan, that you have wisely chosen this place. Why? Because when Ulysses was looking to go back to his house in Ithaca, not far away from here, he saw a huge water spout that took them all with a ship, and in that great poem, Ulysses and his Navy people, they have all perished except for Ulysses. When he landed in Corfu, it was the island of the Phaeacs. And as he went out of the sea, you know, tired, wounded, he saw Nausicaa, beautiful young lady like you, and he was impressed, and her father was the king of this island at that time, 1800 BC, maybe, or 1500 BC. So that history should bear you in mind that you have been awarded not only by prestigious, in front of such a nice gathering, prestigious colleagues in the field of meteorology, climatology, and atmospheric sciences, but also because the place has such a long history. And actually the country has similar, because the term climate comes from Aristotle. He defined 7 climates on Earth in his first book of Meteorologica by the inclination of the sun rays. So he said, the more inclined they are, the cooler they are. Let's define them. So he started with the Arctic, Greek name, the Arctic, Antarctic, it's Greek name, Anti is Arcto, tropics, tropy means the change, so the tropics, and the Eucratic climates are the 2 ones that are in Europe and Southern Hemisphere. So thank you so much, and particularly thank you, Rob, and our host here, where he's. Hello. Thank you so much for inviting us to collaborate in this award. Okay.
Thanks again.
Thank you very